Please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Mr. SP Tulsian is with us to talk about this a little bit more in detail. Mr. Tulsian, thank you very much. What do you make of this move? Interesting.
That's right, Prashant. In fact, there are three methods, for the government to monetize their PSU stake. One by the OFS. Second, we have seen that ETF, kind of things coming in where they have pooled their stake in the ETF and the IPO of ETF has been made, maybe of the oil companies and all that. And third is the buyback. In fact, this is not the new. In fact, a couple of years back also we have seen buyback in case of having made by the NMDC, PFC, REC Limited. So the concept of this buyback seemed to be good because if you take the case of the PSUs, by and large, they are all cash rich. But the names which are coming in as flashed by the channel, on our channel, where the NTPC or maybe NLC, the old name Navy Lignite Corporation, being included. In fact, they are seen to be having the debt portion. In fact, I have always criticized, or I have not been in favor wherever the companies are having the debt in their books, going for share buyback. So maybe this is the good move. And secondly, if you really take a call on the promoter stake, like Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, where the government has recently divested their 10% stake, they are sitting on 90% stake, and there is absolutely no harm in going for share buyback by those companies. But the precedent or the examples which have been seen taking from the past experience, that these companies may be making the share buyback announcement at the prevailing price, prevailing market price, which may be seen slightly negative by the market. Share may correct, and people may not, tender the shares, because when the buybacks will open, either the share will be, slightly above the buyback price announced, or maybe virtually at those levels, as we have seen in case of NMDC, PFC, REC in the past. So that becomes very easy for the government, and government will stand by his commitment of tendering their stake in the buyback. So the dual purpose gets served. Government mobilizes divestment. These PSUs, which are cash rich, they make use of the surplus cash lying with them for share buyback, which eventually is seen a pragmatic move if you don't have any debts in your book, which is seen an EPS accretive and positive for the non-promoter share.
So, Mr. Tulsian, for our viewers, based on this news, unless you like these stocks anyway because of other reasons, based on buyback, you should not chase these moves, right? Because some of these stocks are spiking.
No, Prashant. In fact, from buyback point of view, you should not, because generally, let me again say here that buyback process takes about 3-4 months. And unless until you see the eventual equity reduction in which the shares presumed to be, having tendered by the government, till then the shareholders or the non-promoter shareholders will not stand to gain. As I've given you the example of NMDC, who have been sitting on cash of about 8-10,000 crore. Couple of years back, I don't remember, but they went with the share buyback in the double digit, and post that buyback, in fact, I remember of having recommended the share as a buy call after the buyback having completed. So there is no point in taking a call for this interim period. But yes, either near the share buyback time, when the share buyback is on, or it is likely to get announced, and if the share is ruling maybe slightly higher than the buyback price, or maybe closer to that could be the entry point, because eventually the move, once the share buyback happens, will be seen EPS accretive.
Right. Mr. Tulsian, okay, let's look at the impact of this. Do you think because of this, because the government will mop up some revenue, the risk of offer for sales in a variety of PSUs diminishes a little bit? Or, that'll, for example, BEL is a company. It's a small company, but we spoke with the management. We asked them when is the OFS. They said should happen in the next 1 month. Of course, it's the government's choice. And the prices has been smashed. So I guess the government would have liked a better price. But at some point it will happen. But does this take away the risk of that? Also, all this sort of cross-holding business. I mean, one transfer of one entity into another, like we saw with HPCL, ONGC, etc. You think the risk of those kind of things goes down, or not really?
See, actually, the cross-holding risk has not seen having cropped up in the recent times. In fact, HPCL acquisition by ONGC, I won't take this as an example of the cross-holding. Cross-holding, in fact, exists more in case of ONGC, IOC holdings, where the IOC is holding in ONGC, ONGC is holding in IOCs. Maybe the minority stake of 3, 4, 5% or maybe 8%. So, in fact, that needs to get corrected. In fact, GAIL is also included in that. So, I don't think that fear of the cross-holding as such was expecting. You may have your criticism for ONGC taking over HPCL, which in fact we don't find anything wrong in that. So that fear was never existed, Prashant, and I don't think that will be seen going there. But one point in case of this OFS also, generally what we see that OFS, even whenever we have seen this OFS at the time of ahead of the OFS, the prices as such fall. So I think this is a wise decision on part of the finance ministry, that why to sell the shares and give the benefit to the small shareholders or maybe few those who lap in the OFS, and then thereafter share price moves up, so that benefit has been taken by very few strong shareholders, not even the retail shareholders. So eventually if company buys back the existing shareholders, which I have said, maybe including government with the residual stake, they all stand to gain, because the surplus cash of these all PSUs are not yielding them a gain of more than 7-8%. So that has always been seen positive if the surplus cash is, because there are very few PSUs those who are having the debt in their balance sheet. You can count them on finger, maybe like Power Grid with a debt of about 1 lakh crore, Steel Authority with a debt of about 25-30,000 crore, NTPC or maybe Navile Lignite India, NLC. So that's a very pragmatic move, that there is no point in keeping this cash with all this one. And if the government has consciously taken a decision to go for the tendering the shares at the slightly prevailing market price, I don't see anything wrong, because eventually that will be seeing the value or the worth or the valuation of the existing shareholder getting increased. So overall seen a positive move where you achieve the dual purpose. Maybe as I've said in case of Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, you reduce the stake also from 90%, which eventually you have to comply with, because government has recently sought the extension of the reduction of their public shareholding, non-promoter shareholding to 25%, maybe by another couple of years from SEBI, which has expired in the month of August. So overall, this is a good move to comply from all the angles. Maybe financially also this seemed to be a pragmatic decision having taken, except in case of, as I've said, maybe in case of NTPC and Navile Lignite, I don't know what will be the quantum of the buyback, but they should not have gone for the buyback in these two companies.